What's up guys, welcome back to another video. So it's been a little more than 3 months since Niantic dropped their response to the movement #HearUsNiantic. If you don't know, HearUsNiantic was a community-based initiative, you could say, that pretty much all of the Pokemon Go community got together and got the #HearUsNiantic trending on Twitter and pretty much everywhere because we were unhappy with how Niantic was not communicating with the community. I'll leave links below to the videos if you want to learn about the whole thing. I'm not going to explain everything in this video, but today, since it has been 3 months, I want to go through, since Niantic dropped their letter and made promises to the community, what have they done since then in these past 3 months? Have they really done the actions they said they were going to do? Are they really trying to improve their communication and all of that? So we're going to kind of break down all of Niantic's actions since HearUsNiantic, and I'm going to kind of use this video for myself as well to decide if I'm going to go back to pay to play, because right now I am a free to pay player since the HearUsNiantic movement, and today I will decide based on this breakdown, am I going to start spending money on the game again? First thing we're going to talk about is the developer Diaries. If you don't know, in the task force update letter on September 1st or whatever, they said starting in October, we will be publishing a developer diary every other month to share the latest priorities, events, and features for the game. As promised, they did post a video. I'll link the video below if you want to check it out. But pretty much this developer diary is about Community Day. Now, they did keep their promise of doing it every second month starting in October. We had one on October 21st that dropped, and we should have one in December. Now, it seems like these developer diaries are going to be based on a event of some sort or something like that, and they're going to be answering questions on the event. Pretty much in there, they answer a couple questions like which community day had the highest participation rate, why doesn't community day last the whole day, and how they plan community days and all of that stuff. Now, I think it was a great developer diary and it was cool. Two concerns I have with it is, first of all, where do the questions come from for these dev diaries? I'm sure Niantic goes on Twitter and checks out a couple questions or thinks of what questions they could answer for these developer diaries. It would be cool if there was, you know, maybe a place where you could input questions that you would like answered in the developer diaries, because my problem with the developer diaries right now is it seems too organized and perfectly curated, but there's not a lot of substance in it. Niantic is answering the questions they want to answer, but not the questions that the community has. Now, of course, I don't know exactly how this all breaks down, but it would just be cool if there's a place where everyone could input their questions that maybe get answered in the developer diaries, because I have no clue how the questions are getting answered here. One cool thing they do in this developer diary, though, is they're going to start telling us in advance when the community days are so people can get their time off. I think that's a nice little, you could say, quality of life update, just so people have time in advance to get ready for community days. All in all, I think this first developer diary was all right, but again, I would like more interaction between us and them in the developer diaries, in which we could get our questions answered, and it's not like Niantic is just answering whatever, like, you know, 3 or 4 questions that not a lot of people had. Now, quickly, I want to talk about quality of life changes. One of the best things Niantic could do to add to Pokemon Go is going to be quality of life changes. Let's take a look at what they've added since their letter to make the game better. First thing they added, and this was very recently, was the skip egg animation. In the newest update, you can now skip the egg hatching animation. Also, the eggs do look a little bit different in this new update. That's not really a quality of life update, but skipping egg animation has been a thing that people have asked for the longest time. Another quality of life update they've added is going to be native frame rate. Now, some people might not consider this a quality of life update, but pretty much what it allows you to do is use your phone's frame rate / refresh rate instead of having the default one that Niantic makes you play on, which was normally half of your phone's frame rate. Now you can play and use your phone to the fullest potential. Now, you might think it's not a big deal, but it does make the game a lot smoother and a lot more enjoyable playing on your native frame rate. Playing at 60 hertz is a lot better than playing at 30 hertz. Definitely a nice quality of life update and makes you feel like you're playing a completely new game. Next, finally, we have the nickname suggestion. I don't even know if this counts with quality of life, but now when you're trying to choose a name for your new trainer, if there's a name that's taken, it will suggest other names. Not a huge update, but just that's the other one. One more quality of life update I forgot to mention that they actually did, which is pretty nice. There's now actually 2 circles around your trainer when you're playing Pokemon Go. The first one, I believe, is like your wild spawn area. This is where generally all the wild spawns will be appearing. Second is your interaction distance. So this shows how far from your trainer can you interact with Pokestops and gyms. So any gyms and Pokestops in that pink big circle, you can actually spin and interact with. Pretty nice little quality of life update there, so we know how close we actually have to get to a Pokestop to actually spin it. That's pretty much all I could find in the last 3 months. These are the 3 quality of life updates they have added. They're also working on powering up Pokestops, I believe, so that's a new thing that will be coming to to Pokemon Go soon, but 3 quality of life updates in 3 months, honestly, seems a little low to me. Okay, now let's break down the events that have happened since this task force. What are my thoughts on the events? The first event that happened right after this was the Psychic Spectacular event. Now, I want to note this event might have been already planned before the letter, so there might not be much they can do about this, but I think the Psychic Spectacular event was a very good one. It was the event where Inkay was spawning, you know, all those psychic Pokemon. I really like this event because they didn't actually lock Inkay behind raids and eggs. Inkay was spawning in the wild, so you could get yourself an Inkay. Now, I understand why Niantic does lock rare Pokemon behind raids, eggs, and all that stuff, and it makes sense. They need to make money and all that, but it's just nice that sometimes they do at least put the new Pokemon and most valuable Pokemon in the wild, so most of the average players can grind them out. Now, after that was Duskull Community Day. Now, Duskull Community Day, again, might have been decided before, but Duskull Community Day was definitely a, you know, not the greatest choice in the community's opinion. A lot of the community were pushing towards a Litwick Community Day. I think that would have been a great community day, and a lot of people were saying it would be a great community day, but Niantic ended up going with the Duskull Community Day. Now, of course, in the end, it's Niantic's game, and you know, they can do what they want, but maybe a little communication on why Litwick wasn't the community day choice for that month would have been great. Again, the whole issue I have with Niantic is that they're not doing the greatest communication, and maybe just Niantic tweeting out and being like, hey, we know a lot of people wanted Litwick Community Day this year, but we decided to go with Duskull. I hope you understand. Would have been nice, and them addressing the community's feedback is all I really need. I don't need them to change Duskull Community Day into Litwick Community Day. I just want them to address that the community is not happy with the choice, and of course, you can't make the whole community happy. Some people will always be mad no matter what community day Pokemon you choose, but again, I think Litwick Community Day, and most of you guys can probably agree, would have been a lot better of a community day than Duskull, which Duskull was, I think, like the 7th shiny released in Pokemon Go ever, so like pretty much most people had the shiny. Of course, not everyone had it, but still. Definitely a missed opportunity there, and I don't think they really listened to the community day, or at least addressed the community's concerns. Next up, we have Fashion Week. Now, Fashion Week was a decent event. That was with the Furfur release and all those costume Pokemon. Now, I think it was a fun event, and obviously they do it every single year during Fashion Week. They have to do the event, but I think this was a huge missed opportunity to add a quality of life feature of removing costumes in Pokemon Go. This has been requested by the community for I don't even know how long, but just being able to add a feature in which you can remove costumes would have been amazing. They did add form changing during Costume Week, so I don't see why they couldn't have also added removal of costumes. It has been requested for the longest time, and I don't understand why Niantic has not added costume removal yet in Pokemon Go. Definitely another huge missed opportunity there for an easy quality of life feature they could have implemented, but they did not, which in my opinion shows that they weren't really listening to the community. After that was the Secrets of the Jungle event. I think this was a great event. This was the one where Zarude came out and all that stuff. All around, that event was a classic event. Nothing I can really say anything bad about. The wild spawns were decent, raids were decent, eggs were decent, and there was that new research to get Zarude. I don't think there was any issues with that event. Maybe they could have just kept Zarude research for everyone to get and you didn't have to get it during the event, but again, making it exclusive is cool as well. After that, they announced the 2022, I believe, Pokemon Go Championships for PvP. This is going to be an event. It hasn't happened yet, but it's going to be the championship series in London, I believe it's going to be, in which you can join and all that stuff and pretty much battle for the title of best Pokemon Go PvPer in the world. I like this because I think it shows that they're trying to, you know, make Pokemon Go bigger, get more players, and, you know, get a more global audience around it. Of course, there are a lot of concerns in which how is this going to roll out? Will they be able to handle it? Will the lag of PvP be able to handle it? But not only does this make Pokemon Go a bigger game and more people playing, which I always love, this might mean that Pokemon Go is going to be able to put more care into PvP since now they actually have something they have to make sure works well. So maybe this will, you know, light a fire under their butt and get them going. Nothing wrong with this announcement. I think this is super hype and great for the community all around. Next is going to be Shink's Community Day. Now, I think Shink's Community Day was amazing. Definitely a community day that a lot of people have been asking for. Maybe not asking for, but still a great community day. Not a lot of people were angry about it. Of course, some people would be like, yeah, I grinded Shinx and all these raids and stuff like that. But, you know, no offense, that's kind of your fault. You guys have to know that pretty much every single Pokemon, rares or not rares, are going to get a community day at some point in Pokemon Go. So if you're mad that you spent money on Shinx, don't spend money on Timber and all those raid exclusive and rare Pokemon because they're going to get a community day at some point. It's just going to happen. Obviously, you've seen the trend. After that was the Dia de los Muertos event. I don't know. I feel like I still say this name wrong. Great event all around. Again, this was actually supposed to be a Latin American focused event, but they actually did allow players from all around the world to play it, which was great. The only thing I would say about this event, and again, you know, nothing wrong with doing this because they do it all the time, but Alolan Marowak was technically paid locked because you could only get it from incense or from lures. So unless you had another friend who was dropping lures all the time, Alolan Marowak spawn and getting that shiny was definitely tough to get. But I understand they're going to make the rare spawns rare and harder to get, and you might have to pay if you really want to grind them out. After that was the Festival of Lights event. Again, a great event. They had the Dedenne release and all that stuff, and that was when Shadow Lugia was released as well. First of all, they had a bonus that was increase gift opening. Now I'm going to talk about changes that Niantic should have made in these last 3 months and quality of life updates they should have done. And one of them is going to be allowing us to open more gifts, send more gifts, and all that stuff. I think this could have been a great time for them to just add the bonus of allowing us to open more gifts a day or send more gifts or bulk send gifts instead of just giving us a temporary bonus of opening 45 gifts a day. I think this is a huge missed opportunity. They could have gone ahead and added this quality of life change. Who knows though, maybe they'll add it during the holiday event coming up because that event is usually focused around gifts as well. So maybe they will finally add bulk sending, bulk opening, and all that stuff. After that is going to be the Diamond and Pearl event, the Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl event. A lot of these events, if you look back at them, by the way, are promotional tools. You know, like Fashion Week, you know, Secrets of the Jungle, Diamond and Pearl event. We're gonna talk about Ed Sheeran. So most of the events are actually just based on promoting other things. But we had the Diamond and Pearl event. The only thing I'm gonna say bad about the Diamond and Pearl event, I think it was a decent event. The wild spawns were a little weird, but those 6 costume starter Pokemon, I think were not a great addition. Again, the community has never really enjoyed costumes that much. Like, I'm sure there are a couple costume collectors around, but majority of people, they don't want the costume versions. They want to be able to evolve them or at least have the option to evolve them. So I think adding 6 new costume starters, I think was not an amazing thing for Niantic to add. That's the only thing I'm gonna say about Diamond and Pearl event. Again, this wouldn't have been an issue if they had just allowed us to remove costumes during the Fashion Week and added that feature. But again, that's my thoughts on that. After that was the Ed Sheeran event. I think the Ed Sheeran event, which actually ended recently, was a decent event as well. It was really just a promotional tool for Ed Sheeran. And I don't see anything wrong with that. If Ed Sheeran likes Pokemon, he can, you know, get paid by Pokemon Go to do all that stuff. That's just classic business. And I think bringing out the shiny Squirtle Squad Squirtle was a great addition as well. Of course, some people were mad because they wanted the exclusive version, but you know, everything's going to come back at one point like we talked about with the Shinx community. Spawns were a little lackluster, but again, you know, I don't think the spawns were supposed to take over. They were just supposed to be a little bit of an addition. And then finally, we had the Hoopa Unbound event to end the season of Mischief. Now, the only thing I'm going to say about the Hoopa Unbound event is, first of all, the spotlight hours and the raid hours, at least the spotlight hours on the Friday and the Monday, were from 12 to 1 p.m., which a lot of people are working and at school. That was a huge concern, especially the Beldum spotlight hour. Now, of course, Niantic is a, you know, USA-based company, and I think Friday people had the day off because it was Thanksgiving in the United States, and Monday, I don't know if people had the day off, but maybe people take the day off because it's the Monday after Thanksgiving. But Niantic has to be, you know, concerned. Everyone around the world plays this game. Maybe made the spotlight hours on the Friday and the Monday a little more friendly to people who work and who are at school. Maybe making the spotlight hours from 6 to 7 p.m. and then the raid hours from 7 to 8 p.m. local time, all 4 of the days, would have been a lot better because people would have been at home after work and school and they could have had a better chance of playing. Just a little unfortunate that they did that and they didn't think that the whole world would be playing and only thought that, oh, you know, United States has the day off. Also, another thing is they do force you to buy a ticket if you don't complete the Misunderstood Mischief special research. Now, I know the Misunderstood Mischief special research is a super easy one to do. You should have had it complete so you could have got that special Hoopa Unbound research. But again, just making you buy a ticket is a little bit cheeky there. And I don't see why they couldn't have just, you know, waited until you finish the Misunderstood Mischief research and then you unlock the Hoopa Unbound research, because sometimes, you know, people don't have a lot of time to play Pokemon Go. And as easy as the Misunderstood Mischief research is to complete, you know, some people have kids and all that stuff and they can only play Pokemon Go for like, you know, 5 minutes a day, you know, every week or something like that. And they're super, super busy and they don't have time to finish it. I don't know. I just feel like making you buy the ticket was a little bit cheeky and they should have maybe just give us a little bit extra time to complete that research for people who are really, really busy. Next up, we were announced the Season 10 move changes for PvP. Nothing really got changed up. Now, first of all, Rock Tomb was a terrible move change. You know, it didn't really make Rock Tomb relevant at all. Like, I don't know what they were thinking. Stone Edge is immensely a better move and Rock Slide's even way better than that. And then also just like the additions to some of these Pokemon, like Sudowoodo, no one's playing Aggron now that has Rock Tomb, or, you know, Sudowoodo and all that stuff. Like, you know, the only pretty much relevant ones were probably like Donphan, Noctowl, and Magcargo, and then like Octillery's not amazing. But yeah, like these 3 were the ones that are kind of relevant now. Also, people were a little bit frustrated with the whole outline. Like, there's not a lot of new cups or anything like that. And I don't know what Niantic could do to make PvP more interesting, but like most of these special cups are things we've already seen, like the Love Cup, which I don't even think was a good meta. The Sinnoh and the Johto Cup are new, but again, like most of this stuff is just the classic, and I think people were a little bit angry because they feel like PvP is becoming a little stale with all the cups, and there's nothing really new happening in the PvP world. Maybe if Niantic were to add like, you know, a bring 6, pick 3 method of play, or like a casual version of PvP, or any of those things, they could have spiced up Season 10 instead of just making it the same old thing, and not a lot of PvPers are excited for this season. Finally, we were announced the Season of Heritage, all of that news and all of those events. The only thing I'm going to say about the Season Season of Heritage is I really enjoy the guaranteed XL candy for distance trades. I think that's amazing for trainers who cannot travel, so everyone has the chance to get a lot of XL candies from trading without even needing to travel. Only thing I will say about those season announcements, and some, you know, this is like, some people will like it, some people won't, was the announcement was super late. I believe it was already December 1st. It was like, I think it was like 5 hours before the new season actually started in some countries, and no one actually knew what was happening. They announced the new season, the December events and all that stuff super late, which again, some people like the surprise and the last minute intensity, but some people want to know in advance so they can book off dates and things like that. So it would be nice if they announced this stuff a little bit earlier. That's pretty much my event breakdown. Now, all in all, I think there were some decent events in here, but also a lot of missed opportunities on things Niantic could have added in the last 3 months. Let's talk about what Niantic have not done based on their promises and what they could do to improve. First of all, let's talk about issues and glitches. Niantic said we are going to continue to work on updating our known issues page, and in those efforts, we'll prioritize bringing greater visibility to the status of existing bugs for trainers. So Niantic said that they're going to be updating this page more often so people can know what glitches and things like that are going down, which I believe is great, and they have been doing that. Like a lot of, you know, known issues are here. However, there are still a lot of known issues that haven't been fixed for the longest time. First of all, I'd like to ask you guys, is PvP still laggy after the last 3 months, and specifically with the new native frame rate update? Now, I only really PvP during my streams and then sometimes when I have a little bit extra time, so I don't think I'm the best case, but I would love you guys to comment below how you think PvP has been over the last 3 months. Has it been improving? Has it gotten worse? Is it terrible on Go Battle days? Like, you know, what is your overall experience with PvP lag? I talked about this in my other videos, but I know PvP glitches and PvP lag is not going to be fixed overnight or in 3 months. It's going to take a long time to fix, but still, has your experience been improved over the last 3 months? And do you feel like Niantic is actually trying to do something to fix PvP and make it better? Also, I feel like being booted from raids, which is a common glitch a lot of people get, I feel like I haven't seen that in a long time. Like, I don't know if it's because I got a new phone or it's because I changed provider and my internet is better, but I don't think I've seen a lot of raid glitches and, you know, remote raid invites and losing raid bosses and things like that. I haven't seen that in a long time compared to, you know, 4 or 5 months ago when that used to happen a lot. Finally, a glitch I see a lot right now is the white screen glitch. Sometimes when I encounter a Pokemon, I click on it and then it just goes to a white screen and it just sticks there. I don't see this pretty much on the Niantic known issues page, so, you know, maybe I gotta tell them that they should add it. That is a glitch I get. I don't know why it happens, maybe because my internet is bad or something like that, but that's the only glitch I've been currently getting a lot of. I'd love for you guys to comment below what glitches you've been seeing a lot in Pokemon Go, and then also maybe check the known issues page to see if Niantic has added those issues to the known issues page. One more thing Niantic did promise that I can't speak on is they said we're going to set up regular conversations with the community leaders to continue the dialogue we banned this month. If you know, there's a team of 30 community leaders, which are just people from the Pokemon community who play the game, make graphics, YouTubers, creators, and I think just regular people who chat once in a while about how to make the game better, and they're pretty much our connection to Niantic's team. I can't really speak on this because, first of all, I do not know who the community leaders are. I am not one myself. And second of all, we have no clue how many meetings and have they had regular meetings. I feel like one big flaw with the community leader system here is that we're still left in the dark in the communication aspect of it, in which only the community leaders know what's happening. We don't even know who all the community leaders are. Of course, some of them have come out to the public as community leaders. We don't know who all of them are, and we don't know when they're having meetings, how many meetings they're having, and what they're talking about during the meetings. I understand how these meetings are going to be private, but just us as the community not knowing anything about what's going on in the background in terms of how Pokemon Go is trying to improve the game and how they're fixing the game to make it better for us, if, you know, the community's concerns are even being brought up at these conversations, kind of leaves us in the dark and in a tough situation because, and I can't even speak on this, and which have these actually been useful, and have Niantic even done anything with these conversations? So it's kind of a little frustrating there on the community leader thing of it, because I really have no clue what's going on there. I don't know if that's helping, I don't know if that's not helping, or things like that. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought I mentioned that. That is something that is happening, but I don't really know how to speak on it. Now, finally, I want to talk about what quality of life changes should Niantic have added in Pokemon Go. We already brushed over these, but I feel like these were huge missed opportunities for Niantic. Sending more gifts, opening more gifts, and then being able to bulk send and bulk open gifts is an amazing quality of life change that has been begged from the community for the longest time. People have been wanting it, and I don't know why Niantic hasn't added it. I don't know if it's hard to add. There's a lot of coding that involves that, but I think it should be something that's been added. Huge missed opportunity during the Festival of Lights event specifically, because they did have those friendship bonuses like the more opening gifts already in place. Instead, they could have just added this quality of life change during that event. Also, being able to remove costumes, we talk about this, but being able to remove costumes is something that the community has wanted for the longest time. I think those are the only two changes that I think Niantic could have added in the last 2 months that could have made the game better. There are a lot of other changes that could make Pokemon Go amazing, like, you know, a ready up button, a chat feature, and so many other things, but I feel like things like ready up buttons and chat features take a lot more time to implement in the game, and I feel like a 3-month timeline for them to have added it would have been a bit too ambitious. So I definitely want to see things like a ready up feature. In the future, I think Niantic should take their time with it because I want to make sure it works well and they're not rushing out things like this. With that being said, that is pretty much my analysis of the last 3 months. A lot of missed opportunities on things they could have added, but a lot of great events as well, and events that I think I really enjoyed and had fun with. Now, the real question comes down to, am I going to be free to play? Am I going to be pay to play and all that stuff? Now, honestly, I don't even know if I can answer that question after making this video. I think for me to go back to being pay to play, I really need to feel it in my heart that I feel like Niantic is doing a better job. And honestly, comparing these last 3 months to the 3 months before that, before the HearUsNiantic, I feel like the events have been generally the same. There's been good events. There's been events where there's missed opportunities of things Niantic had added and all that stuff. If you compare them, I feel like in general, it's gonna be like, you know, similar stuff. At least feeling in my heart right now, they haven't really seemed like they're trying to step up the game after HearUsNiantic and feel like, you know, there's a fire behind them that they need to do better or they're gonna be losing a lot of players. I feel like they're just kind of like, you know, going through the motions and continuing to just pump out content and not worrying too much about quality of life. Of course, they have added those 3 quality of life changes we talked about. I still think there's a huge space for them to add more quality of life updates. The last thing I want to talk about is going to be something I wish Niantic would do and I think would solve all of my issues. And that would just be maybe a forum or a place where we can get our questions directly answered from Niantic. My main issue, and my main issue still is that I never really understand why Niantic does things. I just want to have better communication with them on their actions. For example, when Shadow Lugia was released, a lot of people were angry because they didn't release the, I think it's like the Pokemon XD version of Shadow Lugia with that whole skin and all that stuff. I would love to know why Niantic did this. Of course, it could be because they want to keep, you know, Shadow Legendaries consistent. Maybe they don't have the legal rights to that. Maybe because the Pokemon Company, which is the company that actually runs Pokemon Go and makes and signs off on all their decisions. Maybe it's because they don't want to do that. Now, of course, I know not all questions could be answered, but just maybe having a forum where we could get more direct answers to the decisions Niantic makes would be great, because then I would have more trust in the company and I wouldn't have to kind of like go in my head and be like, oh, they did this because they want money, you know, make up certain scenarios in my head. Even though that's not the truth, I would love the actual answer from Niantic or, you know, a person who works there, John Hankey, whoever. I think that would be amazing and that would really help me feel more trust towards the company. All in all, my feelings, I don't know. I feel like Niantic in the last 3 months, they've added a couple things and it's definitely been on the uprising, but I still don't know if I'm there to start spending money in Pokemon Go. I think I'm just gonna wait until I have that feeling in my heart, which I feel like they've done a great job. And you know, maybe I'll spend $1 here or $1 there on a community ticket once in a while if I want to treat myself, but we'll just have to wait and see, and I'll just have to wait and see how I feel. Love for you guys to comment below what you think about this video. You know, let me know in the comments section, you know, how you feel about Niantic. Are you spending money yet? Have you spent money on Pokemon Go? Are you still free to play? All that stuff. No judgment in the comment, by the way, guys. Please respect everyone's decisions if they spend money or they don't on the game. Again, in the end, it's their money. You shouldn't be telling them what to do with it. That's finished the video, guys. Again, don't forget to comment below how you feel about all this. We're gonna see y'all in the next one, guys. Follow more tips, everyone. Have a great day. Peace.